Good morning, Abundant Life Church. This is Pastor Chris, and today we're going to continue our study of Romans chapter 5, verses 12 down to 21. We've been talking about the fact that Adam sinned, that brought death into the world, but is Adam responsible for our sin, or is that on us? This is a question that theologians have been arguing about for centuries, and it really still hasn't been settled. We're dead men, thanks to Adam, who sin. Okay? Is that Adam's fault or is it ours? Is he responsible for our sin or our death? I didn't eat any forbidden fruit in the garden. I didn't even get to go in the garden. Why should I have to suffer? But on the other hand, I do sin. All right? Well, if I sin already, then what difference does Adam's sin make? How much of this is our fault? How much of it is his? Personally, I've always thought that the best way to look at this whole question of Adam's sin is that Adam's sin makes us all subject to death. But the sins we commit are our own responsibility. So all Adam's sin did is say, okay, you guys aren't going to live forever anymore. Now you're going to die. Oh, okay. But the sin is on me. Okay, so Adam, you're off the hook, except for one small thing. Thanks, Adam. We're all going to die now. But if I'm right, at least we know that he's responsible for our death, not ours. So don't you feel so much better? Let me ask you this. What possible difference does it make who's responsible for our death? If you are driving along the road and all of a sudden a golden retriever jumps out and you swerve to miss the golden retriever and you plow right into a tree and you're rushed to the hospital, all kinds of life-threatening injuries, and the doctor says there's nothing we can do. You have about 10 minutes left. There's nothing we can do. And then he says, oh, by the way, you should know that dog, it wasn't a golden retriever at all. It was a yellow lab. So what? What difference does it make what kind of dog it was? You're going to die. Hey, good news, we're all subject to death, but it wasn't your fault, it was Adam's. We're still going to die. That's the big problem here. I kind of don't want this death thing. So we've struggled with this question of whose fault it is that we're going to die, and I doubt we're going to solve it, on this devotion this morning. But you know what we can do? We can actually focus on the right question in this passage. Paul, I don't think, ever really intended for people to debate over what he wrote, because there was a larger issue here that he wanted us to focus on. So what is that question we should be focused on? Well, we've been talking about Adam's sin. But is that the most important question here? This entire passage is a comparison of what Adam's sin did for us versus something we haven't even talked about yet. What Adam's sin did for us versus what Jesus' cross did for us. So far, all we've been looking at is Adam's sin. And throughout the years, that's really what the debate has been focused on. But if you focus on that, you miss the big point here, the point of this entire passage, the point of the whole Bible, the point of our faith. If we get tangled up over what Adam did and how it impacts us and whose fault it is, we're never going to see what really matters. What about what Jesus did? He died for us. His death saved us. His death opened the way to everlasting life for us. That's the big thing that really matters. Look at verses 15 through 17. But the gift, that's the cross of Jesus. The gift is not like the trespass. For if many died by the trespass of one man, how much more did God's grace and the gift that came by the grace of one man, Jesus Christ, overflow to the many? Nor can the gift of God be compared with the result of one man's sin. The judgment followed one sin and brought condemnation, but the gift followed many trespasses and brought justification. For if by the trespass of one man death reigned through that one man, how much more will those who receive God's abundant provision of grace and of the gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ. What he's saying here is this: who cares if Adam made us sinners or if Adam made us dead men? Who cares? Jesus fixed it. If because of Adam everybody has to die, then guess what? Through Jesus, everybody has the chance for eternal life. If Adam brought sin into the world, then Jesus paid for that sin with his blood and brought hope into the world. All right, look at it this way. Who's greater, Adam or Jesus? You're going to say Jesus, okay? So if Jesus is greater, then whose action would be more powerful? Adam's sinning or Jesus's atonement? If Jesus' atonement, if his sacrifice is greater than Adam's sin, then that's where our focus should be. That's where our discussion and our thoughts should be. What did Jesus do for us? Yeah, sure, Adam's sin resulted in destruction, it resulted in death. But Jesus' action resulted in creation and everlasting life. And the power to create is far greater, far more powerful, far more difficult than the power to destroy. You can take a brick, and with that brick, you can wreck stuff. All you have to do is throw it through a window, you have wrecked that window. Or you can use a brick to build something. But building something with a brick is harder because it takes skill and patience and a lot more bricks. What did Adam do? His sin destroyed stuff. What did Jesus do? We'll talk more about this next time. Till then, have a great day.